Good morning, everyone. This is Chansim. Thank you for joining me. Today, let me share about the change begins in choice. As I prepare this, who doesn't know this, right? But there is the gap. Uh, this morning, I also heard from my homemate. I know all, but I don't apply that to my life. So that's what we feel, right? It's not about the knowing. I think we know more than enough. Also, if we don't know, we can just Google it. We can ask our phone. It's a smartphone, right? So knowing is one thing, and then am I living it? That's another thing. So the book, I have decided to live 120 years. The book says the change, especially after 60, when we prepare the second cycle of life. Usually, what people do is like plan the what is it, pension, right? The 401k or investment, or can I find any good community, or where should I travel? I haven't done it, or have I prepared my will, testament, right? Or all that kind. We need it anyway, don't you think? Yeah. Otherwise, we can be burden to others. But that's the all for just the physical life. So we need to prepare that. But we also have the energy life. So energy is like a water. So what we need to prepare for the second cycle of life or entire life is because energy is like a water. I told you, right? Water flows as directed, where directed. So, either you are in 20s or 30s or 40s or 60s, it doesn't matter. We really have to take a time and ask ourselves, where am I directing my water? It's energy. Because when we were younger, we didn't have a time much. So kind of we missed. We went to school and then, study and work hard, and then now we are here right now. And then we have to look back and then what kind of a seed have I planted in my life? Because life is a one time. If you plant a seed of a rose, you get the rose flowers. If you plant of a tree, you will get a tree. Make sense? So what kind of a seed have you chosen to plant? What kind of a life do you want to live? So that's the one thing. So when we have that direction, we can kind of create because the water flows that way, energy flows that way. It can be our life. Anyway, this is physical life. We live now, it ends. So we need to prepare the ending, right? So energy and it also scatters. Any emotions we are holding, right? Joy or I hate or I regret or anything gonna scatter. What we can do is make our energy lighter for our journey. So we can have like a light journey or we can carry everything. That's okay. Choice. But it will make our journey very heavy. Make sense? So what kind of journey do you want, right? Yeah, I would rather choose the lighter. If I carry too much, right, I cannot move forward much. So, physical or energy scatters. But then what doesn't age? Physical body ages, energy body changes, but one thing is what doesn't age or what doesn't die, right? I share this many times. That can be your soul and spirit. But a spirit has the levels low level of a spirit, high level of a spirit. Soul wise, soul's value is the same, I believe. But we can kind wrap our soul with a heavy energy It's in our heart chakra. Or we can release all heavy energy from our heart and then make our soul freer. Make sense? So the essence in everyone is so pure. But unconsciously, we just put so heavy energy around, right? Our soul and then the divine spirit, right? So it's time to look at it. So the book suggests we need to ask ourselves, who am I, like a constantly till our the last breath. So what we really need for our life is not just coaches, right? Who are helping us with finance or exercise or diet, because it's, as I said, it's a kind of a little part of our life. The bigger one is first the direction, and then we need the help from others. What kind of a life do I want to live? So when our energy flows that way, we're gonna get help from that direction. If we, direct it this way, we get help from this way. Is right? So very first thing is which direction, which seed. Makes sense? So there is, a company in Korea, right? The Samsung. Long ago, when I was younger, they had a kind copy praise. They said this choice in this moment decides your whole life. That was for like a selling something, right? But that was very effective to everybody. So Samsung did a really good job. Mm. So the Ilji wrote in the book in New Zealand. He's still in New Zealand, and then he built Earth Village there. So one day he was walking. Originally, he planned to like retire in his 80s, but he changed his mind. Why not 120? So it doesn't mean like a try to live 120 years, but just plan it. And then that was his direction. Let me just plan this way, and then I ask myself, what kind of life do I want to live? That was his meditation. So in Kerikeri, in North Island, he built the Earth Village. His plan is invite young people and then educate them. So when they go back to their country, they can help their community. That's his plan. So he made like a 120 steps, even the steps, so people can meditate. In Sedona, there is a retreat, Sedona Mago. The retreat also has 120 steps. New York Anna's Haven retreat also has it. So we can meditate, as we walk 120 steps, we can meditate on our life. So nobody knows, nothing is guaranteed. But, at least, the direction. We can meditate on the direction. So, and then he put the signage there, says the way of a new life. So if you have a chance to visit that Earth Village in New Zealand, or Sedona Mago, or Anna's Haven in New York, please visit, and then you can meditate. And then in the book, the Ilji says the first 60 years is given by heaven. So it's was not easy, right? First 60 years, and then he said that the second 60 years can be created by our own experience and knowledge and wisdom. Make sense? And effort. So this was in the book. But this is a simple question, right? Change begins in choice. We know it, but how can I choose? Because so many people, visitors here, students here too, are asking, I know it, I need to change something in my life, but how? Even diet is not easy. So then usually I suggest please take a time, and then you need three conditions. So first, the same-minded people. So if we try this together, it's easier. By yourself, it's not easy. So one thing. So find any same-minded people. Second thing is you need a guide, somebody who can help you. And then later you can help others too, right? That's the second. Third one is your own feeling, the chakra. So you won't follow anybody just blindly, but always check in your body. Does it work for me? Right? So then eventually we all can make a change. So to give you some hope, I would say, see this? I am breathing in and out, right? You are breathing in and out right now. You are here to listen to this. That's your choice. If you can breathe in and out, because that's the choice. So means we are already able to choose. See what is happening right now with you. You're breathing in, you're breathing out. That's the choice. You can say, oh, that's a natural. Also choice. We also have a choice to, not breathing. Make sense? But we just allow to breathe. We allow ourselves to breathe. It's the choice. So, or you choose to sit, you choose to stand. So, the truth is, we can choose. So, first, change starts with that realization. Because so many people are saying, hard to choose better life, hard to choose any change for myself. It's not true. So, we can start a little thing. Okay, what am I doing right now? I am breathing. I am already choosing it. Make sense? So let's start with a little thing. And then let me give you some insightful quote because I love this. Um, the German philosopher Nietzsche, right? He said, he who has a why to live for can bear almost any how. So it's just the same as what this book is talking about. So my question for you is, do you have a why? Do you have a why to live for? That's for your spiritual body and energy body. Make sense? So another quote from the Viktor Frankl. Yeah, I talked about him once, right? Because he survived the 4 concentration camps. So it came from his own experience. I love this too. Everything can be taken from a man, but one thing, the last of the human freedoms is to choose one's attitude in any given set of circumstances, to choose one's own way. So sometimes we feel like there is nothing for me, right? The kind of a feeling. Yeah, so then I recommend you to read the Viktor Frankl because his life, you know, once you read, you will understand. It's the one of the hardest, but he got the so precious lesson from it, and then it really teaches a lot. So, do you have a why to live for? So I hope you find your own and then live your life every day. And then if the why comes from your soul, so it doesn't change because the soul doesn't change. If it comes from your idea or thinking, it will change tomorrow too, or next hour. So I hope you get it from your soul. Your soul is in your heart chakra. Or I have access to your True Essence program. It's online, so you can use it. So we can do together. It's one Saturday and Sunday. Okay? So thank you everyone. I hope you create a very precious and meaningful life and not wasting even 1 second in your life. Thank you everyone. Talk soon. Bye.